Just like the audacity of thinking your uninformed opinion is worth sharing. Like, can I get some of whatever is making them this confident? Because I feel like I could really use it. Hello there, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kristen. Here I like to talk about social and cultural issues through the lens of pop culture and public figures. Usually, but not always. I do change it up sometimes. Today's video is going to be another follow-up about Jimmy Snow, and more specifically about a subreddit that has been talked about during this whole situation. I wasn't planning on making this video, but events from yesterday made me feel like I need to make it, so I am making this on my lunch break, and I will be editing it after work and getting up as soon as I can. I feel like I need to speak up about this because I have mentioned that subreddit in my other videos, and I want to voice my support for certain people. So let's just get started. What I'm talking about today is kind of the result of another prominent skeptic creator having spoken out in support of Jimmy. I'm going to leave this creator unnamed in this video, and you'll understand why later. I could not find his statement in support of Jimmy, but my understanding is that it didn't really say anything about whether Jimmy had done anything wrong, and it was just focused around like, hey, let's not harass Jimmy, let's not bully Jimmy while he's in kind of a delicate state, as Jimmy shared with us in his apology video. Based on people's reactions to this creator's statement, I don't know that his intent was 100% clear, as people definitely didn't take it as just saying, let's not bully Jimmy. I think if you are going to speak up on something like this, you do want to make sure that your intention is very clear so that you don't accidentally alienate your followers. That being said, what happened in response to his statement was unacceptable. He got a message, I think delivered to his wife actually, threatening her and saying a lot of really disgusting things. And this person in the message seemed to align themselves with the Freely Talk About Jimmy Snow Reddit. Or I think it's actually just Freely Talk About Jimmy. And because this person seems to have aligned themselves with the subreddit, this creator spoke up and declared this subreddit to be a hate group. He also clarified that he doesn't have any idea what the drama surrounding Jimmy is, and he was just trying to say that he doesn't think we should bully Jimmy. So here we go again, another white male skeptic creator that I used to look up to, thinking that they don't need to look into a situation because it's just drama and that their opinion is worth sharing despite them having not looked into the situation at all. Great. Just like the audacity of thinking your uninformed opinion is worth sharing, like, can I get some of whatever is making them this confident? Because I feel like I could really use it. Let me be 100% clear. The message that was sent to his wife was 100% not okay. It's not okay to threaten people. It's not okay to go after people's families. That message was unacceptable. This message came from one person, not the entire subreddit. And we don't actually know if that person is even a member of the subreddit, because until recently, the subreddit was public. So anybody lurking online could read all of the posts in there. It could have been literally anyone who sent that message to his wife. And before the subreddit went private, I saw many posts denouncing that message. And I also saw that they had introduced a rule saying they were no longer going to allow discussing that particular creator or his wife on the subreddit because they did not condone the message that was sent and they did not want to contribute to any further harassment. So while this creator's reaction of feeling like that entire subreddit must just be a hate group is understandable because his wife was threatened and he's now being put on the defensive for his family, I don't think it was appropriate for him to publicly declare that entire group a hate group, and I'm going to tell you why. Declaring a group of more than 1,000 people to be a hate group because of one possible member's actions doesn't really make sense. And in this situation, I find it to be a little bit inappropriate because of the context of why this subreddit even exists and what conversations were taking place on this subreddit. I also want to reiterate that, like I already said, we're not going to be saying the name of this creator in this video, and I am asking commenters to do the same. I do not want to contribute to any further harassment that he receives. So please do not say the creator's name. Please don't go interact with his content if you know who he is. Just leave him alone. And if you don't know who he is, don't worry about it. It doesn't really matter that much. The message that he and his wife received was incredibly concerning, and they have a right to want to be left alone regarding this situation, so let's respect that, please. So let's now talk in more detail about this subreddit. It was founded after the Jimmy Snow Reddit started to ban people for criticizing Jimmy and talking about the situation regarding Jimmy and Gabby Hanna and Rachel Oates and other things. It sprang up because of the way Jimmy was silencing his critics, including SA survivors. It only exists because Jimmy was silencing valid critics. It was their way of reclaiming their voice and being able to continue a conversation that Jimmy decided to remove them from. The community became a place where everybody felt safe to talk to each other and vent about how this situation was making them feel and how it was affecting them. Professional victim advocates even joined the group and contributed to the conversation and contributed to the sense of safety that existed in this community. Due to this sense of community and safety and support, people began to speak up about experiences they had had with Jimmy. These experiences were of the romantic and sexual variety, and they existed purely online. I won't be sharing the details of any of these relationships. There is a video out there that does get into more information. I linked it in my last video about Jimmy Snow in the description. You can go check it out. But the general pattern was that these people had romantic and or sexual interactions with Jimmy. They then were left not feeling very good about how everything went after he lost interest in them and either unfollowed them or just started ignoring them. And they were left feeling kind of used by one of their favorite creators. This space where they could talk about their experience and find out other people had had a similar experience was healing for them, because they had felt unable to even talk about this experience because he's a public creator and they didn't want to put him on blast or like tell his secrets to anybody. So they felt very isolated in their hurt that they experienced with Jimmy. This subreddit helped to change that feeling of isolation for them, and I think that's really important. Nobody on the subreddit accused him of doing anything non-consensual or illegal, and I am not accusing him of doing anything non-consensual or illegal either. I am simply stating that people who were involved with Jimmy felt hurt by what happened between them and Jimmy, and that they felt like he misused his place as a prominent creator, and they felt weird about the fact that they were his fans. From what I read on the Reddit before it went private, the community is supportive and kind, and the mods are incredibly strict about making sure that nobody says something out of pocket. They have rules about not doing any kind of directed or targeted harassment of Jimmy. They have rules about not even talking about the other creator anymore. They have rules about providing evidence if you're going to make a claim about Jimmy. And they have rules about, just speaking kindly and not taking things too far, because the subreddit does care about the effect that it has on other people, and they do care about whether or not they are spreading quote-unquote false narratives, as Jimmy put it. So why am I talking about this? Well, I think that the Reddit is being painted in a very unfair light, and I think the way it's being painted is a little inappropriate given the context. I think it's interesting another straight white dude is allying himself with Jimmy, again, without thinking he has any kind of responsibility to look into the quote-unquote drama that this thing concerns. And I think it's interesting that he decided to paint the support group that sprung up around Jimmy's online verbal abuse of his fans as being a quote-unquote hate group. That feels like victim blaming to me. I can't let that slide and not say anything about it, especially because I have mentioned that subreddit in my videos. The people who are getting together to share how they feel and commiserate about how they've been hurt by everything that's happened with Jimmy shouldn't be painted as a hate group. This group only exists because of the way that Jimmy verbally abused his fans online and the way that Jimmy intentionally silenced fans who tried to speak up and criticize him. All of this could have taken place on the Jimmy Snow Reddit, where Jimmy's mods could control things, but he banned them from it. This group needs to exist because Jimmy has not allowed the conversations to take place on the appropriate platforms, which would be in his subreddit, in his comments, and in his Twitter mentions. It's not fair to call them a hate group. And again, I just want to point out the irony of the victims of Jimmy's online verbal harassment as being a hate group when they themselves were targeted by a creator with hundreds of thousands of followers online and told to F off and told that they were being abusive and that they were being manipulative when they tried to ask him questions. I just wanted to tell everyone who can no longer see the posts from this group because it had to go private after what that other creator said about the group, that it's not a hate group, it's a support group. The members of that subreddit are uniformly disgusted by the threats that were made against that creator's wife, and they don't condone it. And I believe they're probably trying to root out any possible members who might condone it. Again, they're literally not even allowing discussion of that creator and his wife because they care about not sending harassment towards someone else. So for him to throw them under the bus like that is unfair. I also want to say that the more I read of that subreddit after having stuff brought to my attention regarding Jimmy's fan interactions, the more I understand why Jimmy kept talking about false narratives and vaguely waving at stuff people said about his fan interactions without being specific. It's because he didn't want anybody to learn the specifics, I think. I don't think the narratives were false. To me, it sounds like he sexted multiple fans, and when he was done with them, he stopped messaging them. Sounds like he was kind of a jerk to the fans that he used his influence to get sexual gratification from. It's almost like someone with more than 200,000 followers shouldn't be looking at their follower base for potential partners. And I think it's interesting that in his apology video, he framed it as, dating and more casual stuff, when it wasn't that. It was, again, a man with hundreds of thousands of followers using his platform to gain sexual gratification. It's not dating. It's not casual dating either. I'm not going to be debating whether it was like a moral issue for him to have those kinds of relationships with his fans. I think it's wrong. You can think whatever you want to think. This video is not here for you to debate that. I think it's icky. I don't want to follow or support a creator who uses his fan base as a pool of potential dates and sexual partners. I think that's gross. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. I'm not saying he violated anyone's consent. Everyone was an adult with, whatever. I don't like it, and I don't have to support it. And I'm allowed to talk about how I don't like it. So yeah, I wanted to speak up in defense of that subreddit and also share a little bit of what I think about Jimmy's fan interactions now that I know a little bit more. And I also want to finish this video by saying I hope everyone is safe and seeking out the help that they deserve and need. That includes members of the Freely Talk About Jimmy subreddit, the unnamed skeptic creator, and Jimmy Snow himself. Everybody deserves to have the mental health support that they need during this time, because this has been rough on everyone. This has just been hard for all of us. And yeah, so take care of yourself, and I hope you have a good day.